These are the patterns that we learned in hour 29. And when I go to practices with students, one way that I sort of force them to begin to use it so they can begin to feel comfortable is I begin to ask questions with what, who, when, where, why, and how. And tell them when I ask questions like this, I want the answer this way using the pattern. Everything in very simple terms, conversation revolves around this axis of spheres of interest of what, who, when, where, why, and how. So to give you an example of this, here we have a basic question of what did he do? Did he do is the question. What and the question. The simple answer would simply be he made supper. But in order to utilize this pattern, to help them begin to use it, there are two ways that they can do it. As you see here, this is the question format. This is the answer. There's two ways. The first way you see here is what. What did he do? You simply repeat what, and you change the sentence into the question into a sentence. What did he do? What he did was, you can put a verb, make supper. What he did was, or you can put a sentence, he made supper. What he did was make supper. If you use this format, these are the things that we learned in this particular lesson. It would go like this. What did he do? The thing he did was make supper, if you just add the verb, as you see here. If you add the sentence, the thing he did was he made supper. These are all the same. But in order to help the student to become more familiar with it, with using it and gaining strength using it to make him sound better, what I would do is I would simply print this and have it in front of, let the student at the beginning just look at it. And I would tell him I'll be asking you random questions with what, where, why, when, who. And when you answer, you can use either of these formats. So as you see here, the commonality is that, see the sentence? Everyone, you can put the sentence with answering. So what I would do is I would first have them become familiar with making the sentence at the end. What did you do? What I did was I played tennis. The thing I did was I played tennis. This pattern here we learned in hour 19. Why did you go? The reason I went is I wanted to meet her. The reason I went is so I could meet her. There's some variations with why. How do you do it? The way you do it is you turn this. The way you do it is by turning this. So this is a basic snapshot on a more sophisticated way to answer a questions to help develop your skills in speaking English. When I listen to beginning students, I always listen for more complex patterns to see if they're able to handle those or if they use them naturally. If not, you sort of have to create an atmosphere where they begin to use it, and the more they use it, the more they hear it, the more natural it will become for them. One other thing I wanted to point out to you is this. This is the question and this is the answer. These are questions in the present. And as you see here, the connection here is in the present. What do you do? What I do is study English. What are you doing? The thing I'm doing is I'm doing my homework. You see, these are the present tense. When it goes to the past tense, what did you do? The thing I did was eat lunch. Now, instead of was, as you see here, it is acceptable and in conversation to put the present. The thing I did is eat lunch. Because the past tense has gone into here, it's okay to use either the past or the present here. However, in the future, what will you do? What I'll do is I'll just wait there. Only the present comes out as this connector between the two sentences, or between the verb and this pattern. So once again, in the past tense, you can either use was or is here. In the present and the future, is used as the connector. So in order to help the student become accustomed to these patterns that they've used here, I ask the questions this way, and I want them to answer like this. In the beginning, so as not to confuse them, I would use this, have them use this. In order to practice, repeating what, where, when, as you see on this side, a little exercise I do is just have them complete it up to here. So, what did you do? What I did is. Where did you go? Where I went is. When will he come? When he'll come is. Why did he do it? The reason he did it is. How did he do it? How he did it is. Who did he meet? Who he met was. Or who he met is that guy. So I would just have them repeat this. It's basically a form of, building a new repertoire of the ways that you answer a question. You'll hear native speakers using either of these formats quite naturally, and it will come up quite a bit. So your students will begin to hear it more because they begin to use it more. The more you speak it, the more you'll begin to hear the pattern also naturally. So once again, in order to practice these patterns, you can begin asking questions here, and I would give them this format, print it out for them, and tell them, if I ask the question here, I want you to answer this way. After we feel comfortable with this, we then go here. Obviously, with who, you can put the person, the man, the woman. This will change depending on the subject matter. Thank you.